everyone, back tuning into the 20th Christmas update. So we're fully on to the GFS model now. We've discarded CFS V2, the long-range experimental model, and now we are within the time frame of GFS for Christmas. So it's still in the extended range, so we're still really just using model for trends. In the next few days, next few updates, we will start to actually narrow down the detail of the Christmas period, and of course running up towards New Year. At the moment, we only go out as far as the 28th of December, so we don't fully get to the New Year period yet. That will be in the time frame of the GFS model by the weekend, so it's all getting very, very close now. Of course, when we did the earlier updates with CFS V2, the trend of the model, long-range model, was very much towards the colder side of things for Christmas. We just got to wait and see whether it was getting things right with that trend, or whether actually it was leading us up the garden path. We will know very shortly when we do the next 2 or 3 updates. Before I get on with the 20th update, just say about the ads. There's links, articles, and all the pages. If you have browser widgets and click through links, you'll be helping us to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads to those pages, which own that content. When you watch them very close back up again, just help to pay for gas. And the quiz shop still remains open. So if you've got any quiz shopping to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, all you have to do is click the green button that says Quiz Shop. Takes you to our Christmas shop page, and then from there you go through the Amazon banners, do your Christmas shopping as normal. Don't need to do anything else differently. Because you've gone from Gazwell's to Amazon, we get a revenue fee on the things that you're buying. Big thank you to everybody for doing that. Been a huge success again this year. There's still time to get Christmas presents out to you, but of course it's less than 2 weeks away now, the big day, so I wouldn't leave it too much longer if I was you. Big thank you to everybody for doing that. So we're going to start off on the 22nd of December. As I say, this is still within the extended range of the GFS, so it's not in a reliable time frame yet. This is 10 days away, actually. It's 240 hours away. And what we see here for our first day is that we've got high pressure dominating the centre of it. It's a very long way away from us. It's somewhere over towards the Ukraine. But it's stretching out and elongating right the way across the continent, and we are getting an influence from the high pressure in the form of light southerly southeasterly winds. A little weather front here is bringing some cloud and shower rain into the northwest. Upper air temperatures look fairly mild. I spoke about this in the video that I did earlier. You can find it on the homepage. The upper air temperatures with this ridge of high pressure are going to be relatively mild, but under the anticyclonic conditions, because it's winter, the heat goes out in space very quickly, and we can actually be surprisingly cold even with fairly warm upper air temperatures if the situation is right for that to happen. Look at that, loads of dry weather really on the 22nd of December, right away from the UK and Ireland, out in the west over towards Ukraine and Russia in the east, all places in between. Looks more unsettled down across Spain and Portugal. So it's pretty cold actually. Despite those mild upper air temperatures, we are getting inversion taking place there, which means lower down on the surface it is colder than it is aloft. So temperatures suggested to be between around 2 and 7 degrees. Fairly cold really there for day 10. Then we go through to Friday 23rd December, when I know a lot of people are going to be travelling about. And this one, bringing a weak weather front or a weak weather system in towards the north, still really under the influence of this high pressure across the eastern side of Europe. So we bring slightly colder air down into Scotland. That may turn things a little bit wintry there, but otherwise the upper air temperatures aren't particularly cold. There is rain suggested there on Friday 23rd of December with quite a wet day for Scotland and Northern Ireland, so that might be a bit wintry. Otherwise, mostly okay for travelling across England and Wales. Although under that ridge, of course, have to think about fog, and some of that fog could be a little bit on the dense side. This is how things are looking in terms of the overnight temperatures from Thursday the 22nd through to Friday the 23rd of December. It looks frosty, especially for central parts of the country. So pretty cold period this, running up towards Christmas. Temperatures by day on the 23rd, just 5 or 6 degrees. Christmas Eve is looking like this. Tonight with GFS, some high pressure is still very much in control. That weather system that was trying to come down on Friday 23rd is actually going back north again, being pushed out into the Atlantic as the high pressure across the eastern side of Europe is still the dominating factor, still bringing in the air from the south or the southeast. The temperatures, upper air temperatures, look fairly mild across most parts of the UK. And precipitation looking like this. So it's still fairly wet for Scotland and Northern Ireland on Christmas Eve. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather being suggested. And that's the case for most parts of Europe as well, to be honest. Away from the Mediterranean, where it looks much more unsettled there, with lots of heavy rain and potentially thunderstorms. Temperatures Christmas Eve looking like this. So the north looks pretty cold at 1 to 5. The south is about average at around 7 to 8. The southwest, parts of Devon, Cornwall, along the south coast, actually quite mild. Temperatures around 12 degrees there. Christmas Day is looking like this. It's anticyclonic, high pressure all the way, no real change in the weather pattern. The centre of that high pressure, again, is a very, very long way east. It's actually backing in towards western Russia, but the ridge is extending through the continent and into the UK, so there'll be lots of dry weather with that. And that kind of chart sort of suggests to me fog, really. I do think we might have some pretty widespread and dense fog, not just in the UK, but many central parts of Europe could get a bit fog bound there for Christmas Day. Upper air temperatures still looking much the same. They are relatively mild, but it will be colder on the surface under the ridge, of course. There is the suggestion for a little bit of rain for the northern parts of the country. Don't worry too much about that. It's too far away for that kind of detail. And anyway, it looks mostly light. Temperatures are about average, to be honest, somewhere between, say, around 3 to 7 degrees in most places across the UK. The southwest does look a little bit milder there, around 10 or 11. Notice for many parts of Central Eastern Europe, those temperatures are sub-zero, and that again is the inversion that's taking place down on the surface, producing lots of frosty weather. Boxing Day, Monday 26th, starts to take that high pressure up towards Scandinavia little bit, or the high pressure is becoming centred more towards Scandinavia anyway, so the flow is going a little bit more easterly there, but very little change in the actual weather pattern. The upper air temperatures look like that, no real change there, and again, loads of dry weather. Don't worry about those green colours, that will be a pretty dry day across most parts of the UK on Boxing Day, and temperatures are quite chilly, ranging from around 1 to 7 degrees. Again, it is milder down in the southwest. Tuesday 27th, which of course is Bank Holiday Monday, we find the ridge starting to strengthen then over Scandinavia, so up to 1,050 millibars. We're beginning to put in quite a strong east to southeasterly wind. That would have a real cold chill to it, that wind. It would be a bitter wind coming in from the east or the southeast. Upper air temperature still not doing anything particularly cold at that point. Lots and lots of dry weather. Temperatures are starting to drop. So even in the far southwest, around Cornwall, we're only at 10. Most places just at 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then we end up on Wednesday 28th, which is as far as we can go with the GFS, and we're really pulling in an easterly wind there. If you follow the isobars back, the air is originating from somewhere across Eastern Europe, or maybe even western parts of Russia. This low pressure in the Atlantic is being very much blocked by this big Scandinavian high. Upper air temperature, talking about starting to pull in some very cold air into central parts of Europe. That would be on its way to us with those easterly winds. And we can see from the 2M temperatures, which is a reflection of the surface temperatures, it is turning bitterly cold across many parts of Europe. A bit of a freeze is starting to engulf Central and Eastern Europe. Lots of dry weather. Of course, with those easterly winds, you'd have to factor in snow being dragged across the continent. And the temperature's much lower there on Wednesday, 28th of December. Most parts of Europe have gone sub-zero. Germany has maximums of just -3 or -4. The UK, we're struggling to get above freezing. Even at that point, temperatures just 1, 2, 3 degrees will be bitterly cold with that easterly wind. So, not a white Christmas, but it does suggest after Christmas we could be in for it a bit with those easy wins. Now, this is a very long way away. It's as far out as we can go with the GFS model, 384 hours away, so I wouldn't take it particularly seriously, although of course it is in line with what the CFS, all the other winter updates, what this long-range CFS model has been doing. So if it does come off, it'll be hats off to the CFS that was always predicting some cold weather around or after the Christmas period. But at the moment, it suggests that for Christmas, we just keep this high pressure going that we've got right now. Actually, loads of dry weather, very quiet conditions, temperatures about average, nothing to get excited about at all. And then after Christmas, those easy winds start to drag bitterly cold air from Central Europe. But it's a very, very long way away, and I wouldn't be necessarily that concerned. Right, that's the 20th update. We'll do the 21st update on Monday day. We'll do that on Wednesday. And we perhaps have a better picture by then, because we will start to get closer to the time frame, and hopefully the model will begin to run with a particular trend. I've got a feeling it'll be very anti-cyclonic running up towards Christmas, but we'll see what the 21st update has to say. That's all for now then. Thanks for watching.